where Daniel's there and the lion's there, and the Lord will deliver you just like he delivered him. Oh, but you gotta have some faith. Now,
Well, it's almost Thanksgiving,
it is the
and you know
substance
the
of
holidays
things
are
that
upon
is
us.
hoped for, and the
But
evidence of
today,
things not seen.
we have a great show lined up for you right here on Rhythm Flow Radio live stream
Where
on
is
Facebook
your
Live and YouTube.
faith?
And the title of the show is
See, I
Favorite
talk
Holiday
about that
Food,
mustard seed
Candies, and
faith.
Traditions.
Come on,
You know, I hope everybody have a
show
holiday,
the Lord
happy
your
holiday.
faith.
I hope you have your favorite holiday food and traditions and things that you like. I hope that you don't
Well,
eat
I
too much.
know the
And
shadow
without
of
further
things that
ado,
lurks, I
I'm going to get out
know
the
that
screen and bring you your host, that funny guy. That
and
he's
I
an
know
actor,
the son
he's a
of him
teacher,
is my
and
deliverer.
he's
I
quite
know
the
that, I know
comedian,
that
Dion Collier.
faith.
Good day, everybody.
I
Hello.
know him, this I know him. He's away
So
out
here's
the
the
way.
thing. I didn't know that I was like hosting the show. I thought I was a guest on the show. I just woke up from a nap, but I'm here. I'm live. I'm in action. So, yes, I'm an actor here in Chicago, Illinois. I've been doing it for a decade now. Actually, at this point in my life and I think career, I get really tired of actually even talking about myself and about what I do because it's just a thing that probably becomes a part of you, right? I don't think it's anything special compared to anything that anybody else is doing. But I think what I do is connect people. So that's through performance, that's through teaching, that's um, through writings and things of that nature. I've always been sort of a public person. So that's kind of where I am. And of course, my favorite season has to be the holiday season. And again, that is connecting me to more people and just the moment of joy. Because being a comedian, I'm kind of in that realm of like liking to see people laugh and giggle and that kind of thing. So that's why I think I've always been sort of like the family entertainment of it all. But yeah, that's my little story. Just a little actor here in Chicago, still acting and just making little moments and dreams and memories for my own personal self. And I saw you, Miss Katie Lowe, wiggling on in here. So wiggle on in here so we can talk about tradition.
Tradition and holiday foods.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's really something. How we have these foods that we set aside only to eat. I mean, they're traditional foods that they've eaten on holidays throughout the years, and they're still eating them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so what's some of your traditional foods that when you were growing up, and I'm the senior member, so I bet some of the foods that my mother cooked when I was growing up are some of the same foods that your mother cooked when you were growing up.
Of
So, what
course.
are some of the foods that you saw at Thanksgiving and at Christmas?
You know, I have a question before your question, even though you just asked me a question. And I'm thinking, like, do all cultures celebrate a form of Thanksgiving?
I believe they do.
Okay, with just different beliefs and
You know, it. You know, I don't like to get into this subject, but
I know, but you know,
I'm going to say this. I believe that they all celebrate some form of Thanksgiving, um, just like they celebrate the birth of Christ.
well, because it's also a thing of I understand the religious aspect, and I'm not even going to take it to such a religious place, because what I'm thinking more so is just the day to get together and to commune with your family, right? So we might have like a lot of Thanksgivings, you know what I mean? Even though this is the bigger day celebrated and set aside for that day. But to me, it's like a communion of family and what you're being grateful for. And so we get back to our food traditions, right? That we
Yes,
have.
Thanksgiving has a meaning behind it.
It does have a meaning, but I
Yeah,
mean, like the overall, like,
I don't want to get off into that because the story has been told so many different ways about
okay.
what happened with the pilgrims. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. We
and I
know
don't
the
want to get
pilgrim
out into it.
story.
I don't want to get out into the history of it. I just want to talk about us being a culture, a people.
Hmm. You see,
And
y'all, I like to push a couple little buttons and stuff. I always do this.
I know you, Dion from Fish
Huh?
University.
I just
Anyway,
like the little healthy debates. No, but let's get into the food though.
okay, but every family celebrates it, and
Hmm.
traditional for for most Black families or African American families or colored families, whatever label they have put on us down through the
Hmm.
years, there's always the dressing.
Hmm.
There's always the turkey, the
Hmm.
cranberry sauce, corn
Hmm.
on the cob,
Hmm.
mashed potatoes, mac and cheese.
Hmm.
These kind of things are traditional with our families, should I say?
For sure.
Okay, but there are also families that don't have those type of dishes on the table.
Right. So that's kind of where I was going with it mentally. I wasn't really, yeah, 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 the whole religious thing. But like I was kind of raised, we don't talk about like we don't do that with other people outside of ourselves. So yeah, I was just because the reason why I say that is because I saw like a Hispanic TikTok video of a Hispanic family, and they were like singing about all the foods that they were gonna have, right, for Thanksgiving. And it was like all the foods that we would have. But then they threw in some tamales and they threw in a couple of other things. And I never really have thought tamales was a tradition, for us. But I will say this, my family used to get tamales and, we freeze them or whatever, but we would have them as like a snack. But I never thought like, oh, this is like with the meal type of thing. But when you look at other cultures, it's kind of like we all have like similar foods with one or two extra dishes in there that are different. So I'm like, wow, look at all the similarities that my culture has with other cultures. And so, yes, we tend to eat those same things. So it's like when you go in the store and you see the cranberry sauce and you see like the stuffing, and it's all in this is one section. Yeah, so we're all going down that aisle.
I have a problem here.
Well, okay.
Oh, I have a new
Look, because I
puppy.
threw out something else.
I have
Oh,
a
that's
new
okay.
and he's hearing the noise and he's ouch. He's
I'm
kind of
surprised mine
excited.
hasn't come over here. Look, I might as well call my dog over here. Eddie, you might as well come on over here. Come on, Eddie.
He's
At
kind of
work.
excited because he's hearing that voice that he
Mm.
hasn't heard before. Now he was laying on the floor and he was just fine. And then I guess he kept hearing that voice.
Uh, yeah, it's a new person.
Hold on.
Listen, anytime I usually turn on the ring light, my dog is over here, but now my dog is just making me look a little slow because I'm calling his name and he has not moved and he's looking at me.
This is a bad dog right here. He's
Well, he,
he'll be what 3 months old, 4 months old, December.
oh, yes. Well, he just wants his attention, little baby. So this would be the baby's first Thanksgiving.
Look at it. Look. So
He's
look, so
cute.
see you.
Yeah, he's cute.
And
I
he's
see his
bad.
little face.
He's
Probably
bad.
be into everything, right?
Everything. And now I hate that he can climb the stairs.
Yeah, that's
It's a white
good.
thing. As
That's
long as he
good. You like to hear a little pitter patter noise in the background. I like a little pitter patter noise. Long as it's no big colossal noise where I have to fear that it's somebody else. But
yeah, but you hate that he can. I hate that he can climb the stairs. So,
oh,
now
listen here.
back.
You'll be happy they are self-efficient because when you listen.
Let me tell you, your dogs are older, right?
Well, he's 8 years old. Yeah.
Hey, this one is it's like going on 4 months. This is
hmm
like dealing with a baby who
Well,
likes
even at 8, let me tell you, 8 years, he's still a baby. But
not like you.
my dog is still active and still kind of gives me a run for my money. The thing is, though, he does know how to sit down when he needs to.
This one, he likes to chew up.
No. No. Yeah. Yep. Y'all got to go
Likes
through
a lot
that
of
phase.
likes a lot of attention, and he has his own personality. Okay,
He'll go through. He'll probably get through that little teething
I can't wait.
phase.
I want him to become a senior citizen like me.
Nah.
But he's
Let him have
sweet.
his moment. He'll keep you active.
I don't know about acting, but he sure aggravates my arthritis.
Don't do that.
Now let's get back. Come on, BJ. Now that everybody has seen you, go
hmm
home. Now we were gonna get back to the food. You were saying the Mexican families bringing in the tamales, right?
Well, they had like everything that we had, and then there was tamales added.
Okay.
And so I said, well, a lot of cultures, and I've had I could say that I probably had sort of an Indian Thanksgiving, but see, I don't want to be disrespectful, and I don't know what they would call it if it's Thanksgiving or not. But I've had some dishes that they put together, and they were similar like ours, but they had their own little twist to it. So I said, okay, well, everybody has their multiple dishes in every culture. That's okay. You gotta let that baby bark. Just let him bark.
I
Let
wanted
him
to.
bark.
I fed him. What? I feed him.
That don't matter.
I feed him twice a day now. Well, it's 4 times. Now it's up to twice a day. So I thought if I fed him right before the show, that he would run around, do his business, and then he would come back in and he would get somewhere and be quiet. Like
No.
he normally does. But I think, like I
No,
say,
whenever somebody else come into the space, it's going to interrupt the algorithm. So I have interrupted, and that's okay.
okay. Now, okay, I'm gonna say that I think that all nationalities that celebrate Thanksgiving would have part of their culture mixed in with the meal.
Exactly.
Like if you're Chinese and you might have the traditional food, you probably would have a Chinese dish.
Like a couple dishes.
Yeah, yeah. I believe they all do that. Yeah, I think that's normal. But
But
go ahead.
But okay, so I will say like stuff that is traditional, of course. It's kind of like everything that you mentioned. So, you have the turkey, you may have the ham on the side. Now, see, I might be getting it confused because the ham might be a thing that we have at Christmas. But we could have ham and turkey. But I feel like we have barbecue also during this time. So that's something that I'm going to want to talk about. And then, of course, the traditional side dishes of what? Dressing, cranberry sauce.
Well, dressing is a part of the main dish. The turkey and the dressing, they just go together.
Yeah, but I feel like, see, okay.
You don't think they go together?
Yes, they do. But see, now I feel like we're getting away from tradition a little bit. Like, I don't know how other families are operating these days, but I feel like people are kind of getting out of, ooh, let me do my turkey, let me do my stuffing. And if they do, they still have like a side item. Like this year, I'm jumping right to it. I'm doing ribs. I
Okay.
want some good home barbecue ribs. And you know why? Because this year I'm having what I want in life. So that even goes down to my food plate
Okay.
for the holiday. But I will tell you this, I am having turkey, right? I'm just not gonna have a whole full turkey. So I got the turkey legs, I got the wings, and then we're going to do ribs.
Okay. So
And then we're going to
the
have the
ribs,
traditional sides.
it's the ribs, your main meat.
Yeah, and then you would say the turkey is like going to be like our side meat.
Okay. Okay.
But we're going to have the traditional sides though. Now I got to have the cranberry sauce. And see, now this is when I channel my elders, right? My mother, my grandmother and stuff. So I am going to have a pot of greens. I am going to, I got my green beans and I'm going to cut up potatoes and put in there. We have our yams. We have our corn on the cob,
Hmm.
potato salad.
Who made the potato salad?
We're not gonna get into all of that, but somebody did make it, my friend. I
Oh,
don't know. This would be the
you know that's
first year
always
for all of
that's the
this.
that's the standard joke. Who made the potatoes?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it is. It is. But don't worry, people who know how to make it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
So
yes, so
I'm
my
having
sides are traditional.
I'm having a meatless Thanksgiving.
And what's that mean?
That means I'm having sides. I'm not having any meat. Last year I didn't have meat either.
You're not.
No meat, no poultry. And I'm not
No
and I'm not a
turkey.
vegetarian.
You're not a vegetarian.
No,
You're not gonna even have no turkey. They say the
no,
turkey is good meat.
I'm not gonna have turkey because uh I'm gonna have greens, I'm gonna have candied yams, but I'm not gonna
Uh-huh.
have mac and cheese. I'm not having that.
No, I'm not having that either this year.
And instead of potato salad, I'm just gonna have a few deviled eggs.
Oh, see, cause see, I'm not a real big egg person, and when I make my potato salad, I don't like eggs in mine.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm like, we gotta have two egg potatoes. Like my mom made two. Me and my brother and my youngest sister, we don't eat eggs, but everybody
What's
else does. So she
okay?
would make two separate. But yeah, I'm keeping this year more simple and light. And see, you just confirmed it for me that people are keeping it, families are keeping it simple and light. You're not doing the meat, but you're doing the sides. And that's what I feel like people are still incorporating the traditional dishes in there, but letting go of some of the others.
Well, I think when you get older, they always have the saying, "When you know better, you do better." And I can say that when I was growing up and my mother was living, and even after I moved away from home, Thanksgiving and Christmas were the times that everybody came home and
Mm-hmm.
they were together.
Mm-hmm.
Today, that does not stand.
Mm-hmm.
Even with parents listen, excuse me, even with parents living, children don't go home like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
The grown kids are doing their own thing. And some of them
Mm-hmm.
don't even invite the parents over.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you
Oh,
is
yeah.
that people have their own, like they're making, believe me, some of the old traditions are still there.
Right.
But the older younger adults are off doing different things,
Yeah.
and they might stop by grandma's house or daddy's house, you know.
Yep.
So I
And
think people are keeping it a little more simple.
and
Learn.
my thing is, you know, if you travel to relatives' house and eat, and I'm a single person, so
Hmm.
I'm not gonna waste money cooking up all that unnecessary food, you know?
Well, see, and then that's what I'm saying. I think we're being lighter and we're thinking about these things because, again, it's like it's even me. Even it would just be like my sisters and I, like here in the city, and then we would travel for another holiday, right? But like Thanksgiving, sometimes we would make it back home to Ohio.
Okay.
But we started kind of in the later years, just kind of doing it amongst ourselves because we have other traditions now that we're kind of, incorporating throughout the year. Um, but like when it comes to this, it's like we used to make all the dishes and then we have leftovers and all that. And it's like, yeah, you eat on it for another day, but then we don't want it no more. So I think it's just us being smarter and not wasting stuff and getting kind of like this is what we gonna eat, this is what we not gonna eat. And then again we incorporate other stuff because what we used to also do is after we would have Thanksgiving dinner, then the family would go out to the movies. So like all the cousins and stuff will get together. Like now the elders, a lot of them will stay home, right? But then you might get like the older cousin that will come, or like a couple of the cousins will come, or like a couple of people from others. And so like this weekend, we would probably all would have went to go see Wicked together,
Okay. Okay.
but we're not all like in the same area. And I think this year it's going to be a lot of Skype calls.
Yeah, well, my thing about it is the saying is when you know better, you do better.
Hmm.
And as I got older and I got educated to a, a lot of history, okay, and learning that, what I was taught in school was not the truth.
Hmm.
And I guess I get to thinking about that, and I'm like, when I was growing up, I had no other choice but to. I'm living in the house with my family. I've got to do what mom and dad say do. But now that I'm my own adult and I know better about some of the holidays that we celebrate and some of the reasons why they say we celebrate them, and they say this happened on that holiday and so on, so and so. And then now that you learn that that's really not why they did Thanksgiving. When you
so
learn,
that's so that's
well,
why I
all of
brought up the
that has
whole
a lot
thing.
to do with that. All of that has a lot to do with the way I celebrate it now.
And that's why I brought up what I brought up earlier. It wasn't to really tie the whole religious thing to it. It was more so because it's gotten to a place that this is what we do. Like, yeah, we like for Christmas and stuff like that, those are different. Those have really religious significance tied to them and those kind of things. Again, I think because we also put this with it, this is the moment to take reflection, this is the moment to stop, this is the moment to see what you're thankful for. So you're thankful for the people that's around you, the people
Absolutely.
that you commune with every day of the year or several times a year. So I think that's what it's become for me. And I think now that I'm older, it's more about because I do teach children, right? And
Right.
so I think I'm getting to a place where I'm a little more emotional about it, to where it's kind of like, oh, I just really want to be with the people. Like, I really just want to be with my family. I just want to have a moment. And then for those ones that I can, and it is about the food too, a little bit, like,
Definitely. Yes. Definitely.
and about getting together and just creating those another memory, another memory for the moment, you know? I think that's what it is. It's not nothing extra is put behind the thought of it. It's
Yeah.
this is just what we do for family time.
Yeah, it's a big time of year when the families get together and
Hmm. And I
they
think
share
I'm just getting
they
a little
share they
emotion.
share
Yeah,
memories from the past, you know?
yeah,
They
yeah.
tell stories about when we were growing up, we did this or we did that. It's a great time for reflection. It really, really is.
And so now I understand it, not necessarily the family that was immediately in the same city as you, but you know, when the ones that came in to visit and stuff. So now you know those moments mean more. And now that, like I say, I'm a little older now, I get excited about seeing people now
Mm.
and actually, you know, having that communion moment. So yeah, it's kind of different now than what it was when I was younger, but I also think that comes with maturity a little
Absolutely.
bit. Mm,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. You know, the things that I do today, right now, even though I've retired and stuff, I never thought that I would be out still doing things. I thought I'd be traveling and doing,
Mm,
just doing what I want to do. Well, in a way, I am doing what I want to do, but I work I work with a lot of seniors.
mm-hmm,
It's becoming involved with them. Okay,
mm-hmm,
and I've learned so much, and I can say Thanksgiving is a time to be very, very thankful because you may not have much, but there is somebody out there that has less than you.
mm-hmm.
And guess what? You would think that that person would be unhappy, but that person is happy. And you know why? They are happy because we look at materialistic things that are material, that come
Uh-huh.
and go. They
Well, you
look
know,
at they look at
I,
they look at life and the existence of life. And I've learned that. And it's a beautiful thing. It's not what you have. Okay?
no, it's totally not about what you have. I think for the like for the common person, you know, they're just trying to get to a level of comfortability to whatever that may seem like. Now, to some people, that's having very little to nothing. And for some people, they need a little bit more in their head to be comfortable. You know, I say this because of course, I have struggle moments all the time. Being an actor, you know, the money's not great, you know, so at times, yeah, there's a struggle period, but I've adjusted my life to just be comfortable for me, you know, and really not anybody else. And so I think when you get content with yourself and you're being grateful for the person that you are, you're okay. And so this is, I think, something. So, you know, like sometimes our elders, and I'm not getting on my elders, I love my elders, but sometimes, you know, elders or like people that like your parents and stuff, they can be on your case about like, well, you got to get this career and you got to do this. That's cute. You're on TV, but what are you doing? Right. I think now, again, our family dynamics are changing. Some of our old heads have passed away, God rest their soul, and things like that. But I say now that like when you get together with people and there's no judgment
Hmm.
and you can just love on them because they're a person,
Okay.
not about what they done did, what they've accumulated. Now we might see like my sister, I feel like is a dynamic, beautiful person, right? She
Okay.
takes on a lot of things making sure a lot of our cousins have things. You know, she has a decent job and all these kind of things, which is great. But when we still get together, sometimes it's no judgment. You know, our last little Thanksgiving moment, I was taking my sister, we all of our cousins came into the city. And so my sister had got a B&B or BR&B. Well, you know how you say it. What's that? The little place that they get the rent.
Oh, an
Listen,
Airbnb.
Airbnb. Listen, because I
Oh,
never say it
yeah.
right. I never say it right. I know what I be talking about, but I never use the right vocabulary.
Okay.
Anyway, we got one of those. We had a couple of other places where people were staying, but by the time that trip was over, because we had a week of just like events, right?
Okay.
Um, doing different little stuff, and by the time we dropped off by the airport, I started crying. Don't know why I was crying. My cousin started crying. Then my sister got out the other car and was like, "Please, y'all, don't do this," and she started crying. So really and truly, it gets to a point that I don't even care what materials you have. You're alive, you're well, and we get to have those real laughing good time moments like we were kids again, where
And
it's like,
making beautiful memories.
and we didn't have nothing as kids. It was pure D
Hey,
fun. And you see, I said pure D fun. You got to put the D in there. But yeah, so I'm starting to get to those places now where I'm sentimental about that. And then the food and extra stuff, that's the extra sugar coating on the top. That's the extra warmth of family touch, because I've just now got to the point where I started making things that kind of do taste like my mom, right? So
okay.
I think for years, like I would go home, or I'm from Ohio, so I grew up in Ohio. So when I say home, that's me saying I grew up in Ohio. So when I go home to visit, and it's like, oh, you gonna make them cookies mama used to make? Well, of course I'm gonna make the cookies. But at first it was like I was just making sugar cookies because my mother made sugar cookies. But then it's like, no, I actually want the taste of how hers taste. I want the taste of how her stuffing tastes. So now we're perfecting our meals so that
Okay.
we actually get that homegrown feel when we're all together, whether some of them have passed on or not. We still have the taste in our mouth, and we still have like those memories.
And I was just listening to you talking about how you make the cookies that who your mom made.
Listen here. Because at first it was like, oh, why here they're making all them cookies? Now this the men in my family, right?
Oh yeah,
And
okay.
now it's like, but you gonna make them cookies though, cause we like them sugar cookies and we go sugar cookies. Like, yeah, oh, okay. Different tune today than what it was, years
Let
ago.
me
But
see, I'm going
yes.
to tell you about my niece. Now
Mm-hmm.
I have a niece that's she's a good cook, and
Mm-hmm.
at her house, I don't know. When the heads of the family dies,
Mm-hmm.
there's always somewhere where everybody's going to meet up at, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's my niece's house. Everybody would meet up there. So
Mm-hmm.
she has two daughters, and the older daughter, she just didn't look like she was like too interested in learning to cook when she grew up.
Mm-hmm.
She just didn't. And they're
Mm-hmm.
now like 37 and 35.
Mm-hmm.
That 35-year-old, she can make the mac and cheese just like her mom. She can cook those greens just like her mom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Let me see. There's a couple other dishes that she could cook just like her mom. Her mom can cook from scratch, but a lot of times she's been doing this ever since I can remember. She likes to write stuff down in a journal.
Mm-hmm.
That 35-year-old had wrote all of her mom's stuff in her journal, which someday she probably could publish and have her mom's cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But to perfection, she wanted to make those things taste just like her mom.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in families, there's always one or two
Mm-hmm.
that if
But
mom made it, they're going to perfect it.
because you want to keep that taste going.
That's
And
right.
I'm even like that with my dad. Because and that's why I say I want barbecue this year, right? Because
Okay.
I haven't had barbecue all year. So something that my family would do is my mother was yes in the kitchen. Some of the aunties would come in the kitchen, right? Making the food, and then my mother was like the baker person. But my dad would still go out into the back and have the grill going.
Okay.
So we would have certain barbecue meats. I remember there was a plate of barbecue, and then there was like the traditional stuff, right? I can't remember if this is like if I'm infusing Christmas and Thanksgiving together, but again, the way that I kind of physically think of Christmas and a holiday time, I think of it as like one thing. Like it's Thanksgiving going into Christmas going into New Year. It's like a whole it's all the holidays together is almost like its whole moment. So anyway, my
Well,
dad will make,
we
yeah.
we
I
we,
mean,
we
it's the end of the year stuff, the beginning of the
yeah,
year stuff.
we know now that it's all commercialized, so they kind of put them all together, so you know
Yeah.
what's going on.
But I mean, I just feel like it's a season of holiday. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's what I'm
mean?
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They. I mean, it's about money.
It will,
Let's be
yeah.
for real. It's about
Yeah, of
money.
course. Of
They
course it
commercial.
is.
They commercialized it and put it all together.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. The foods are traditional. The candies are traditional. They have cakes and pies. Basically the
And
same.
And a part of us as consumers, we can say, oh, we're not going to be getting into all of that. We're not going to get into all of that. And I'm that person. But best believe I'm going to go to the store on Black Friday and get me some Christmas lights and throw them in the window just because I feel like I have to be a part, And plus, too, I think they're pretty. I like it. I like
Okay.
it. And maybe it's the thing of just being the little kid in me comes out, maybe, you know but anyway, the barbecue. It's like my dad would make the barbecue, and then there's a certain flavor for the barbecue, right? I remember I used to be like, "Well, you make such good barbecue, blah blah." Blah. My dad was like, "No, it's just this barbecue, but I doctor it up and I put this in it, and I cut up some lemons and I put that in it, and I put some honey in it." So it's just getting the taste of things you know um and again, like this year I'm not going to be around a lot of family because I'm not traveling anywhere. Then my sister decided she's not traveling anywhere, but I do have a sister that is maybe my youngest sister is still here in this city with me, and she's actually expecting a baby, so I'm putting her business out
Oh.
there. So me and her.
Is it going to be a holiday baby?
No, it's going to be after. It's actually, I think she's due in March. And it's crazy because her birthday is January, mine is in February. So now we have a March baby here coming. And then like my other sister, her birthday is December. So the holidays hit us because it's like birthday, Christmas, Thanksgiving. I mean, Thanksgiving, birthday, Christmas, birthday, New Year and all this kind of stuff. But it's a moment. It's a
Yeah.
moment. Yeah. And
Yeah, I know you want to talk about that barbecue, but it's one thing that you talked about some of the stuff that be on your table. I
mhm.
just gotta
But
throw.
it's just the fact that everybody had a role is what
Okay,
I'm saying. So like
okay,
the men will go outside and barbecue.
okay.
Mama will be in the house with maybe some of the aunties and stuff, and we're making the dishes. That's when we're getting everybody together. Of course, as time went on, like we might go to two houses or something. Everybody might kind of split up a little bit. But that's the only reason why I brought that up is because I felt like everybody did have a role and everybody cooked something or everybody had their dish that they brought.
But wasn't there one family member that would cook? and nobody would eat the food. You got that one family member that bring a dish.
But see, I'm gonna tell you, we eliminated a lot of that in our lives. I think the one time I barely remember because I think at a certain point my mom just cooked at her house.
Oh, okay.
And my dad will cook, and then people would start coming over to our house. But yes, and we used to have the potluck too. I remember when I was younger, but it's kind of like we kind of stopped that.
Well,
I remember there was an instance to where somebody had a fly in the greens or something, so of course in my mama's head, or her saying out loud, well, she didn't even wash them greens. So it's like, no, we can't have that, or so yeah.
I remember one Thanksgiving, like it was like the basics were there, but everybody was to bring in a dish. And everybody talked about how good this girl could make spaghetti.
But see, I'm so picky. I was picky even as a kid. I didn't do that.
The spaghetti had eyes.
Yeah, because I have to look at the stuff and really I'm real picky about that. There's a few times when I've had things and it's then made me vomit later or something, or it messed up with my brain mentally. So no, I'm very picky about what I eat.
And kids don't know no better, and they'll tell it, Mama, that cake ain't done. I'm not eating that. Mama,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, as a kid, you could see it. Like, I'm the same person as I was then as I am now. And if I say yuck, that's exactly how I feel today about it.
But when you get older, you're more discreet about it.
Of course. But I'm gonna tell you, Miss Katie, we don't even let those people over to our house no more. We have lived and we have learned. We have had a whole decade of people bringing, and I'm going to say it just like this, boo-boo dishes to the house. So if you bring in boo-boo dishes to the house, you might as well just stay home. Just stay home. There's no reason for you to come over here and bring that over here. You could just call us. We got all the essentials here. I got my cranberry, I got my stuff, and I got the barbecue outside in the back. I don't need it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My mama, we eliminated that, and I took cue from that decades ago. We don't need all that. I remember somebody made some cornbread once. How do you mess up cornbread? But it tastes like it was eggshells in the cornbread. Eggshells.
Maybe drop some in it.
So this is why I don't do everybody cooking, okay? But tradition.
You haven't said nothing about them chitlins that people used to have.
Oh, but see, I don't do those.
Oh, okay. Well, now, I mean,
but they do make them.
That is a Black family tradition.
Oh no, my brothers and my dad, they make them. I just don't. I don't partake in those kind of festivities.
I used to listen. I used to eat them. I used to love to eat them. Okay, but I wouldn't touch them today.
I mean, I'd probably put one on my tongue and did this.
I ain't gonna put it on my tongue. I don't want it near me. But I'm gonna tell you.
But it was too slimy for me.
I'm not gonna call this guy's name, but I had a male that made me not want to ever touch them things again.
I'm sure.
Woo.
It's always one bad experience.
How a man's wife is cooking for him, and maybe chitlins was his dish, okay? And he really didn't want nobody to have any of them. He wanted them all to himself. The whole 30 pounds, he wanted them to himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he doctored them up. He doctored them chitlins up. He said they wasn't done. Man, he comes to putting beer and everything in them. Okay,
they do stuff like that.
How he met after he put so much stuff in them, who was gonna eat them? And he messed them chitlins up so bad.
But to him, they were probably great though.
Now the next day, The next
Oh,
day,
well, he was messed up. Well,
the next
I
day,
mean,
he couldn't
when you
see.
putting intestines in your body, I feel like you
Got it.
should
He had
be
put all
messed up.
the he had put all the stuff in the chitlins box. He want nobody to have none. That didn't nobody eat but him. And the next day, he couldn't see. He was on
I
the
just,
phone.
I don't get it. I never understood why chitlins was such a commodity. I never got it. But I understand, our people, they like oxtails and chitlins and pig feet and all that kind of stuff. But y'all can pass me with all of that.
Hey, BJ, that's BJ Williams. I got
Hey, BJ.
a brother I know. He don't know I got a dog over here named after him, BJ. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that guy put all that stuff. He didn't want nobody to have a chitlin. Selfish. And he put all that extra stuff in them
But
chitlins.
see, I would have told him he can have them.
He
See,
didn't
y'all
have
may
them.
like
Nobody
chitlins. I don't like chitlins.
I don't even either. I used to.
Mm-mm.
But that was something, boy, you had to look at with a fine tooth.
That's what I'm saying.
And do you know now
I
they're
mean, you
really
got people that don't even really, excuse me, you got people who don't even cook their greens properly. So, like,
that's true
you
too.
think I'm going to eat some intestines?
He'll be back. Oh, he was talking about people's greens, yeah. If you don't wash those greens clean, if you and make sure you pick them right too. It's okay to leave some of the stem in there, but don't leave all of those big old stems in the pot. And don't have them swimming in water either, because they're not supposed to swim like that. That's another thing. And if you don't wash the greens properly, they're gonna be crunchy. People are gonna be biting down on that dirt. So you have to make sure that when you are cooking food, that you wash it properly and that you cook it till it's done, till it's properly done. Because uncooked food can make you sick if you don't cook it properly. And the chitlins, I hope everybody gotten over eating chitlins. They should just leave them alone. Okay, here he is.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm back. I keep getting these doggone spam calls. Y'all hear me?
Oh wow. I hate those spam calls.
Yeah, and then like the whole screen went black. So I saw you talking, but I
Yeah.
don't think you could hear me or see me. So I was like, let me leave and come back.
I hate those.
And you know what's funny is it's like I blocked this number several times and it seems like it's still getting through. So I'm kind of
Let me take
confused.
you back. I listen. I'm gonna tell you something just for a minute. Because I'm a senior,
Mm-hmm.
I used to get so many spam calls. I have a directory full of numbers. When they
Well, so,
call for one number and you block them, believe me.
something's got to give though, really. See, look, now this is a real issue because look, I still have my area code from my hometown, right? And I always kind of keep that area code just because. So now it's like I get numbers with that area code calling. So sometimes I'm thinking
They're
it's a
scam.
family emergency or like a hospital is calling me or something. And it's nothing but them doggone spam people.
That's right. They're not only they are scammers.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, they are.
And then let me tell you how I really know that is because I answered one yesterday. I was like, well, let me answer it just so I could get them to stop calling. And literally they're like, Maria Shiraz. And I'm like, that person doesn't even live at this residence. And they hung up on me.
Oh, I can't tell you the things that I say to the numbers when they call me.
I know. I would
And they
love to. But I'm trying to be a regular citizen, okay, and be nice. But they gonna get it. I'm gonna start telling them about themselves. They're gonna have to take me off the register.
I'd be nice, but there's just some things that you can say to them, and they're not going to call you.
Yeah,
You know,
I
and
know.
believe me, trying to be nice. I mean, how many times can Medicare call you lying? And you know it's not Medicare. You know it's the insurance companies. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
take you back your food card. Look, lady, I don't qualify for it.
But I
Okay.
think you know, and that's a whole nother show. But I do think that some of these companies, you know, I forgot what it's called because I've read about it or something at one point, where they buy so many numbers
They
or
do.
something, and they can call and attack you in that way. Even though we think our stuff is private, it's like they buy our number from something
They
and they
don't
get
have
a
to
group of
buy it.
people's
Let me tell
numbers.
you something. Google gets hacked more
Yeah,
than anybody.
yeah,
And a lot of times, well, that's another show, but a lot
yeah,
of
it
times
is. But
but
yeah.
that's one way that I know they get the numbers. And you
Mm-hmm.
can almost tell when Google get hacked because all you have to do is look at your email account.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now come on, let's get back to
Mm-hmm.
I mean, growing up, you're a grown man now, but growing up as a kid,
So
there
old.
was probably an aunt, an uncle, a cousin who brought food to the house for Thanksgiving. If it wasn't
Mhm.
one of them sweet potato pies that she could make.
But that's
Or
what
that
I'm telling
pound
you.
cake.
I'm telling you, as a child,
Mm.
I was a very observed. I knew who not to like. I didn't have really too many bad memories because like, as a person, I knew not to eat Aunt Patty's pie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew better than that. Like, I'm only gonna stick to my mama's German chocolate cake and you know, her sweet potato pie. I'm really probably not gonna deal with too many other people because I've grown accustomed to that taste.
Okay.
Cause even let's say even a sweet potato pie. See, people make sweet potato pies and they good, right? But see, I like mine that have a certain amount of cinnamon in it. I like it to have a certain type of richness in it. So if I look at your pie and it's looking a little light to me, it's probably not for me. You know, like I might just get a piece and
Some
like
people,
nibble on
some
it,
people
you
don't
know.
put enough sweet potato in the pie sheet. They be cheap with it.
So I'm
They
looking at your pie. Like, I'm looking. Hmm. And I might get a piece of it and I might break it down on my plate. And if the breakdown don't look right, I'm gonna scoot it on over and I'm gonna deal with this dessert. And next thing you know, I done rolled that plate up and put it in the trash. You
I
know, you
get
gotta be classy, discreet
I
when you
seen
throw
some
away.
pound cakes. I seen some pound cakes. They were half a pound cake.
Now, see, I wanted a pound cake so bad this year, but see, my fear is getting a dry pound cake. You
I
know?
wanted to shut down all the way in the inside.
Oh, well, see, I never had that. Like, you know what but see, I'm gonna tell you, I never had it where it's not done, but I like the little foamy crust on the outside. But that's
Well,
cooked.
it's supposed to be done all the way in the inside. When you see that
Right.
gooey, gooey stuff on the inside,
Yeah.
that cake been cooked.
Right. Well, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. I
And
should have a solid piece of
I
yeah.
seen some and people thought, oh, did you get a piece of my cake? Sure did.
Well, see if it's gummy on one side, like if it's salt, like you know, I'm
You're gonna
not
be so glad that they didn't ask me what's good.
I'm not gonna do that. Don't ask me about what I ate. I'm such a stubborn person. You know what I mean? Like, I wish somebody would ask me, like, oh, did you eat my like I would probably be like, yeah. But if they challenged me about it, I would be like, now come on now. You're not gonna challenge me about what I ate. I don't want your greens.
Some
I
people,
don't want your greens. How about that? I don't want your macaroni and cheese.
some
And
people
you might
will.
have to hurt a couple people' feelings at the dinner table. But
Well, I
you
mean,
gotta
but
do it.
what's wrong with being truthful though?
Ain't nothing wrong with being truthful. Look, my body and my spirit don't like that gooey ooey mac and cheese that you make. I mean, it's not even about what you make. But like, to be honest with you, in real life, I don't have mac and cheese every month. You know what I mean? I might go 2 or 3 months without having cheesy noodles.
Mhm.
So what I'm saying is
Cheesy
just because
noodles,
you made it, girl, don't mean I'm gonna eat it.
cheesy noodles, and macaroni and cheese ain't the same.
And it's not. And then you can look at somebody's stuff. Like, you got people that make the macaroni and it look like it's just swimming in yellow water. You gonna eat that?
They probably made that out. They probably
Or you gonna like you gonna eat that, or you see the one that is solid as a rock. You know what
now.
I'm saying? Like,
I'm not gonna put that in my body, but if you gonna make real mac
right.
and cheese,
That ain't
there's a
nothing but a
recipe
block
for
of
it,
cheese
and
sitting in your stomach.
it's not boiling it out of the box and putting in that pack of cheese that come in there with it. It's more
And then
work
you
to
don't
it
know
than
what
that.
kind of noodles were used. It looked like they ran out of some noodles, so they put a couple packs of ramen noodles in there and said, "Hey, here's the pot of noodles. Like, here's your mac and cheese." You know what I'm
Honey,
saying? So, no, no, no,
don't bring
no,
me that
no.
jiffy corn. Don't bring me that dressing that you made with that
And let
jiffy.
me tell you, that's the biggest thing right there, because you don't even know what's in that dressing. You
I
don't
know
even know
that
what's
dressing.
in it.
I can tell if you made that dressing with some jiffy though.
No, but this is my thing. Y'all be dropping everything else up in those doggone great them dressings.
That be people that don't know how to cook.
Well, see, there's about 2, 3 tastes that I can only do with dressing, and if I don't get those tastes or that sort of texture or consistency in your dressing, I'm
You
not eating
gotta
it.
have that texture. You gotta have that texture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gotta taste good. You can have
Right,
texture and still don't taste good.
right.
Hmm.
And most people, no, I'm not gonna say most people, but again, if your dish is too watery or if it's too overcooked, usually that's a sign that you might need to start over.
No, that's a sad that that person can't
Or
cook.
you should stop.
It's a sad that they should stop trying to cook.
Yeah, you should stop. Like, you should be like, you know what? I'm gonna bring the croissants this year. I'm bringing croissants and
And make
pie.
sure you go to the store and buy 'em. Don't try to.
That's what I'm saying. And don't be afraid to cater. Don't be afraid to cater.
And
I
you shouldn't be afraid. I mean, I guess I
I
can
think
lay my stuff on old age. And
uh-huh.
if I say something, I can just blame it on my that I'm a senior. But I'm serious. If a
No, you
person
can't.
knows
No,
they
you
can
can't.
cook,
No, you can't. Because you know what? Us, the new modern day young adults, we calling out the elders too.
oh,
We calling out the elders too. Because at this point, grandmama should know better. Auntie should know
grandma
better.
may not have been able to cook as
No, no, auntie and granny should
no.
know
Listen to
better than
okay,
this.
but listen to what I'm saying. If you didn't learn to cook when you were young, and if you didn't take some cooking classes, or somebody got you and took you in the kitchen to properly show you how things to be done,
Right.
probably ain't cooking now.
Well, but
You
you should
probably
have
can't
figured,
cook.
but you should figure that out. See, I have a problem with that. Okay, because
Okay.
see, there's a lot of young men that's my age that don't even know how to boil an egg. Okay,
That's what
and
I'm
that's a
saying.
problem. I understand you think you're gonna get a wife that's gonna take care of you, but man, you telling me you don't even make you a chicken breast at the house? You don't know how to put no beans in a pot and boil them right quick
And don't know how to boil an egg.
and
So
put some potatoes in it. Like, I don't. So to me, that's kind of like crazy. Like, I've never had that option of not. Like, I was always taught you gonna know how to at least cook something. And then the things that I didn't know, I figured it out.
okay.
Like, so we did have a lot of our elders passing at one moment. And so there are certain dishes, for example, that I feel like my sister has perfected. Like it kind of tastes like my auntie's this or that. And there's certain things that I do, like when it comes to like baking and stuff, my sister would be like, oh, well, he's good at that, you
Okay.
know, but I prefer her taste when it comes to certain things. Like, I don't know, like when she makes when they cut the corn off the cob and they make it, you know, like the loose corn, but it has like a certain flavor to it. You know, like she's good at getting that flavor. I don't know what she put in it. I've never even acquired it. I just let her handle that. You know, so there's just certain things that I feel. But as auntie and granny and even uncle, no, you should know better. But again, I think a lot of traditions will be lost because a lot of people aren't learning to cook. Men aren't. In the back in the day, your grandfather knew how to cook. If your grandfather wasn't even in the kitchen with your mama and the aunties, that's because you know the men didn't have to be. But if he needed to be, he could go in there and hook up something right quick. These men today, they ain't doing that. And some of these women today are, listen, I feel like I'm attacking people, but I'm not.
A lot of them are not, because they're making Burger King and Mac.
And they didn't listen to Granny. They didn't listen to Granny.
No,
They
they
didn't
did.
listen to
No, they
Mama.
did. You're right. You're right.
Because my mother was like, you gonna sit here and learn how to do this. And eventually, you know, like we had that Christmas where it was like more of the kids helped out in this meal because the older heads was actually teaching us this is what it is. So
Okay.
like even now, like me and my older sister, we moved to Chicago after college. And so my baby sister had moved with us, right? And so
Okay.
we were kind of like raising her or whatever, but we kept a lot of tradition. So when you say traditions and stuff and religious stuff or whatever, so even we, like for example, and I know we're on Thanksgiving, but I'm jumping to Christmas, but we will read certain Bible passages before we open up our gifts, right? So we remembered what this holiday was about.
Okay.
We still do that.
Okay.
Like we're in our 30s, but we're making sure the little kids is reading the Bible for that moment. You know what I mean? And to kind of, so, and then we talk about, we'll have a moment Thanksgiving where we'll kind of talk about what does this day mean. Then we'll eat.
Okay.
So we have elements of tradition in there, um,
So,
without being completely
so,
traditional.
so when you have Thanksgiving and you do those things, and like you say, you're trying to keep it, for the kids there, having
Hmm.
entertainment. Are you talking about past Thanksgiving when their great
Of
grandparents?
course.
Okay, so you are giving them an element of history.
Well, oh, of course. Well, you know
Okay.
what? It's not like because we can't go as I see. I'm even lying about that because the stories that our parents told us, I remember as clear as day as some stories that my mother told me. You know, of even her growing up, and then like an old auntie that she had, or great grand. So I know those great aunties and uncles' names where they've been dead long, like they might have died when I was younger, even before I was born or whatever. But I'm able to say, oh yeah, well, Uncle Julius, you had an Uncle Julius and blah blah blah. So we talk about those things. And I think it's even funny now because some of the younger kids are not even younger, but like let's say 20-year-olds, and they're having kids and stuff now, you know. But we are talking about those moments of even when I was younger and with their, like for example, my cousin and her kids, but their mother my aunt was a very big part of my life, of all of our lives, right? Growing up. And so we have those stories. But to her grandkids who were young at the time when she died, those are warm memories, you know?
Right.
So we do try to bring as many stories as we can because everybody has a different person who passed some stories down to them, right?
And when you were growing up and were their age, the things that you did with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you pass those memories to those young
For
people
sure.
because that's a part of your history.
For sure. And then
Absolutely.
we might even pull out some pictures.
Okay.
Like back in the day, I will say, like aunties and uncles, we literally was pulling out bags of pictures and going through stuff. Now we probably don't do that so much, but we might go through an album, or we might. And there's just certain pictures that hold like it could be the simplest picture. It could be like some kids outside on the street playing
Mm-hmm.
from 1992. But that picture just holds, it's like a historical picture going through the family, So that's little so and so, that's little so and so, that's so. Now these are all big grown people now,
Absolutely.
but certain pictures are like landmark, famous pictures of the family, just like that, like your grandma and grandpa picture when they was in their 20s when they first met. That's always going to be like a family classic picture because that's how we all got here. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we do all of that. So it just might not be in the form of what it used to be, but we
Mm-hmm.
definitely are telling stories. We're definitely we're communicating and talking over food, and we're crying and boohooing and having joyous moments, and then excited about planning the next one.
And
You
make
know,
sure you share when you share Thanksgiving. Uh, uh, you also we have to learn to teach them what Thanksgiving is about.
hmm
I mean, we have to.
exactly.
Okay. I mean,
Yes.
somewhere down the line, the truth has to come out.
Oh well.
So
Yeah.
we have to say, even though it was Thanksgiving, we celebrated, but this is what we did. This is how we did it. But you
hmm
need to know the true meaning of Thanksgiving and what
You
we
know
really.
what? I've never shied away from that because I think from the day that I could remember, I was always taught our history along with American history, along with any other tradition. My family, I feel like, made us aware of everything.
Okay.
So when I got older, I wasn't surprised. Just like we talk about, oh, they're trying to take out our history in the schools. They're trying to talk about it
Well,
differently.
I don't know. I haven't been to school in a long
Well,
time.
I'm not going to
But
go all the way there, but
okay,
because I
just
really
let me
don't
say this.
know, to be honest.
Let me say this because you say you in your 30s.
Uh-huh.
I'm 74. I'm gonna be 75 in
I
July.
get it.
Listen to this. When I was going to school, and I went to school in the South,
Mm,
in Little Rock, Arkansas, one
okay.
of those racist ass cities,
Mm-hmm.
states. Okay,
Yeah,
the history that I learned, there was very little Black history in there.
I could imagine.
Okay, now when I came to Chicago, and I, going to school, I learned a lot more about Black history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I learned some of the lies that I was told in the South
Mm-hmm.
were different from the lies I was told in the North. I mean,
Yep.
in the Midwest. Okay,
Yep.
so that's why I say these holidays are a time of reflection.
Uh-huh.
We get to get listen. Only time we as Black people get together in big numbers, family. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about when you go out to the club or to a play or to a
Uh-huh.
concert, but when the families get together, it's always at a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
We get together at that funeral, but we are so distraught and so hurt because of what happened. We have to take advantage of the times that we get together and their joyous moments,
Mm-hmm.
like at Thanksgiving and
But
Christmas.
that's why I opened it up the way that I did, is
Yeah.
because of that reason. It's Yeah, we don't get together that much, you know. And again, a lot of these traditions, they are important to people and they remember them, but they're not passing them on to,
Wow.
you know, some aren't. But again, I think with my little family dynamic, and I only know mine's, we try to keep some tradition in there. So I do feel like for my little sister, she didn't necessarily grow up the same way me and my other sister did, because it's like, you know, she was with us.
Okay.
But she still got to have some normalcy in that, you know. And then we would get together with the family and stuff like that at times. I think the dynamic is different now when I look at like my sister and the people who are her age and their kids. Now they're not having everybody's going over to auntie's house. I
Mm.
mean, they might, you know, they have it with their little auntie, but that's
Hey,
kind of like,
Rose. Keep talking. I'm sorry.
that's like an immediate type of family. It's not where you had grandma and all her 9 kids, and then all they kids, and then the cousins came in from Arkansas and Mississippi and all that stuff. We don't do that no more. We used to do
Listen,
that where like the house was booming with people. You know what I'm
listen.
saying?
I know some people that still do it.
And I know people who do, but
And,
but
and, I'm,
I
and I'm going to tell you why I know it. Because the lady called me and she was telling me about this cake that her son gave her a recipe for, right?
mhm.
And it's a cake I'd never heard of, but everybody know I might not eat beef or pork, but I got a sweet tooth. It's
No,
so sweet. Oh,
you know I do too.
I'm serious. And she told me about this pound cake that she was gonna make.
Hmm.
And at the time she was in Mississippi.
Hmm.
And she was telling me, she said, this is what she said. She said, Lord, I'm gonna save you a piece. Now they having this pound cake for Thanksgiving. So she got quite a bit of family right here in Chicago. She lucky that family ain't coming from Mississippi.
Hmm.
But she got some family that's coming from somewhere else. And man, I started counting on my fingers and my toes, and then I needed an extra hand, 2 extra fingers, and an extra foot to count them all. And I was trying to figure out how the heck she think I'm gonna get a piece of that pound cake.
Well, but see,
I
back in
ain't
the
gonna get
day,
none. After
well,
29 people eat,
but why
all
would she
29
just
of them
make
ain't
one?
gonna get none.
But why would she just make 1 pound cake?
Well, I told her to make
See,
3.
see, that would have had me come into the house hot. I would have been hot already.
Well, that make it.
I would have been like, Mabel, now you know doggone well all these people was gonna be here and you made one little bitty pound cake.
Now I
And
told her to
see,
make.
she wouldn't have been able to justify that for me. You know
I
what I'm
told
saying?
I told her to make 3, and guess what? I'm gonna get mine for her family even get it.
As you should. Like, I don't understand that. Like, we knew off rip. And see, I don't even know if we had that many people, but like, you gotta make 2, 3 pies.
Absolutely.
Because people gonna want 2, 3 slices. Now we encourage you not to have about 3 slices, but we know y'all. We know y'all. And then
And
y'all all
she,
feel like y'all gotta take a plate home. And then see, this is the thing we used to do for the people who didn't make it. Okay, go take me Auntie SB a plate, you know, knock on her door. So then we would have to do all that stuff. See, we're not making rounds like that no
yeah,
more around the city. You know, people are tired of sitting at their house for 6 and 8 hours cooking the food. Then we gotta host everybody, and then you mean to tell me we gotta go drop it off to the shut in and shut out? That's a whole
yeah,
2 day. Like, I'm over it, and that's just Thanksgiving.
yeah. They
We
did.
ain't got the Christmas
I forgot
yet.
that part. They did used to do that. People that wasn't able to make
Yeah.
it, they would take them a plate. They sure would. And they didn't
Yes.
wait till the next day either. They got out there and took them that
Yeah.
same
Yeah, I
day.
mean, but that was I guess a respect for your elders too.
Right.
Like my mother would not let her auntie who is like 105 years old go without her dinner. You know what I mean? Like, and then, or it'll be somebody's in charge, like Uncle Ray is in charge to go pick her up and bring her over to the house, and she stayed for a couple hours. So we would have to, you know, that's what people don't talk about. Like getting together for Thanksgiving it was a it was such an event. You know what
It
I mean?
was.
Like it's
Yes, yes.
you gotta arrange people's lives and stuff for this whole
But guess
dinner.
what? They didn't mind. Back then, they didn't mind getting together.
And it was great.
Thanksgiving came around, even if they were traveling,
Yeah.
you know, they didn't
Yeah.
mind. It
But
was
see
a
now we
happy
lazy. We
time.
lazy. We not doing all that. We go get the nearest family members together and then we go call it a
Yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah,
But you know, we got technology now though. We can Skype and we
yeah,
can
yeah.
stream and it feels like you're there. You're looking at the babies and stuff.
And I'm quite sure a lot of them learned how to use technology during COVID.
Well, you know what? I don't get to see like I was saying, the younger generation a lot because they are back home or we're scattered out in different places. But
Mhm,
we've been in contact enough with each other that they know exactly who I am when they see me. You know,
mhm.
and then we'll do the phone, we'll use the phone. But then when we do get together, we have so much fun, you know,
Okay,
because we already know each other's personality and stuff. So
okay.
then we create those memories. So
And
again, I just
memories
say,
let me say this. Memories are beautiful things. And I create right now, I create a lot of memories. And I started creating them about 2014. Listen, I have so many pictures. And I started creating my memories because, you know, I was looking for pictures of myself when I was a child. And I could only find two. Only two.
well, you know what? We took a lot of pictures when we were young, but you know what? Now that we older, we moved around and stuff. People have lost pictures, bags of pictures and stuff like that. So now it gets to a point where I only have so many youthful pictures.
I make memories everywhere I go.
So you should. And then like I said, I didn't even know, and it wasn't until I think the pandemic happened and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
where like when we started getting back together again, I'm literally sitting in the room with everybody, looking at everybody laugh and smile and talk about the stories, and
Mhm.
I get emotional just a little bit. So now I understand what my mother might have felt, what my aunt, my grandmother might have felt for having that real moment. Cause yeah, we like to get together. You know, I look
When
at
when you get together, now you have a phone with a camera on it. Take some
mhm.
pictures.
Oh, of
You don't have
course.
to even wait for them to get developed no more.
Of course.
You
But
know,
like,
make those
you
memories.
know, I look at a lot of like, you know, we talk about like the tradition, like the holiday movies, because you know that's a tradition. We watch the holiday movies, or we put them on in the background while we're cooking, or like the
Absolutely.
Christmas parade and that kind of thing. Um, but now, you know, like when you see the imagery of it, and it's about the love and stuff like that, it does get to that point of the gifts and all that stuff, even though this is Thanksgiving. But all of that stuff, what you might get from it is solely just communion with the people. So I think that's even more important than the food, even though we love the food. But the food brings us together. And I
Yeah,
think it's about,
like you say,
yeah.
traditional food is gonna always be there, but each culture is gonna add something different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And hey, if we learn a new dish, we'll bring in something different
Mm-hmm.
too.
Because you
Yeah.
know, you really think about people, and you know, you spend the whole day ripping and running, right? So like my sister, we don't live in the same place no more, right? But I have to just imagine sometimes how her day goes. And you know, all the elements that could come her way. just like me, I'm in Chicago, we're in Chicago, things happen in Chicago, things happen everywhere. But, I'm going out here to teach the kids, or like I'm on somebody's movie set. I don't know where I'm going a lot of the times, right? I just know I got to get to location.
Okay.
Sometimes I go through a neighborhood. I probably shouldn't be going through that neighborhood. But
But
at the
your
end of
work
the
is
day,
right.
right. But what I'm saying is we all go out here every day taking a risk, living our lives. So to have that one day out the year, or those 2 days out the year, that's a beautiful, amazing, cherishable thing.
Okay, listen, we got about 10 minutes.
Okay, because we
Yeah.
didn't talk,
And,
huh?
and before we go, I do want to I want to say this. I have this this new event, and it's gonna be I thought it wasn't gonna jump off to 2025.
Uh-huh.
The first event is going to be jumping off December the 21st
Mm-hmm.
of 2024.
Okay.
And it's an event that's for seniors only,
Uh-huh.
and it's called the Golden Seniors Saturday. And
Uh-huh.
the only way you can find out about this event, you have to follow me on Facebook. Okay? That's the only way
Let
you'll
me
find
find
out.
out y'all doing some extracurricular senior activity that the young
Oh,
people are not
baby,
invited
listen,
to.
I can tell you this. It's going to be about activities, but it's also going to show. It's also a way to show seniors how they appreciate it. It's called giving back. It's called giving back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when I got the phone call where I'm going to be doing it, I live on the
Excuse
west
me.
side in the Austin community. When I found out that I was going to actually be in the place where I wanted to have the event in, I tell you, man, you would have thought it was. I don't know anybody. No, well, there's nobody here right now, but being the dog. But you would have thought I had at least 50 people up in here.
Mm-hmm.
I
You were
was, I
happy.
just, man, I felt like a female lion.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I really felt good. And the scene it's gonna jump off. Like I say, the first event is gonna be December the 21st. That's all I can tell you. But if you
But you
follow
should
me,
you should be able to have more moments of that. You know?
oh, that's why
Why
it's
does
called.
why does our happy moments have to come once a year?
No,
Like
no, no,
we
no, no, no. This is gonna look. This is once a month.
That's what I'm saying. So you've worked hard to get to this point, and you should be able to have more of those moments.
Well, let me tell you why I don't want more of them. I just want to do it once a
You
month.
don't want to be overworked.
I'm 64.
Well, you don't
It
act
takes.
like it.
It takes.
But
It
what is
takes
64? Like the
not
black six.
64, 74.
Oh, are you?
Oh,
Oh, well, the black 74 looks really good. You know.
baby. It takes a lot. Listen, to do an event, it takes a lot of work. And when I have a team, but the team are seniors too. And then I have a few young people, you
Mm-hmm.
know, it takes work. And then you
Mm-hmm.
want to give back. An organization that I'm a director of, Brothers Standing Together, they give us all the gifts to give back.
That's
And,
nice.
and the things, they are nice. But I just can't wait to start it December the 21st. That's all I will say. So you have to
Okay.
follow me on Facebook. It's Katie Lowe. And the way you know you're following me, you'll see a face that says Facebook offender, repeat offender. And I'll probably look like I'm in jail. So that's
Oh.
when you know it's the right Katie Lowe. If you follow that page and you're a senior, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be in for a
Well,
surprise.
why you in jail?
Huh?
Why are you in jail?
Well, I'm in jail because Facebook say that I go, I'm always going against community standards. But the thing
Oh,
is, I can see the same post somewhere else on Facebook, and I can share it from that page to my page.
I didn't know you was big criminal #1 out here.
Oh man, you didn't
I didn't know.
know?
Facebook
Man, I
most
got a
wanted.
Man, I got a Facebook ankle bracelet on my
Oh,
leg. And if I wasn't
okay.
so old, I'd raise the leg up and let you see. But I got
Mm-hmm.
arthritis. And
Yeah, I
right now
feel
you
you.
sad me, so
I
I can't raise
understand. My leg hurt too. I was running after kids all week. I don't feel like it. I get you.
But Facebook always got me in jail. Some people don't know when they're in jail.
Oh, listen, I never know when I'm in jail. I just, I never know I'm in jail because I'll be like when I'm ready to attack you. Listen, see, y'all don't want to be my Facebook friend because once I start attacking you, I'll be like, I will attack. Okay,
I don't attack.
I'll be like, y'all see, I'm live, 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 live. You'll see it up and down your
When I
timeline
post
20 times.
something, when I post something, I've already checked it out. Okay, and I've checked it out with their source. They have a source that can tell you whether the news is fake or not.
Oh
But
well,
a lot of
yeah.
times, I would get the news before they
But you know what? All these
program.
social media platforms have been very sensitive
No, no, this
lately.
is what happens. If you get the news before they program the algorithm, you go
Mhm.
against community
Uh-huh.
standards. Okay? But
Yeah.
once they program it in the algorithm and you post it, you fine.
Yeah.
So about maybe 10 days later, you'll get this note talking about, sometimes we get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I got a bunch of them too. But I
Mm-hmm.
stay in Facebook jail. And I don't I like people to know. I want people to know that hey, they put me in jail. And when you've been in there as many times as I am, you are a repeat
Well,
offender.
you know what? It's not even a thing. It
I'm
happens.
not ashamed.
Because we know that your character and we know that you're not we know you're
Hey,
not putting something malicious out there for the sake of just being nasty. You have a lot of nasty people on the internet. And because I look at a lot of other podcasts and YouTubers, and some of them I had to let go.
okay.
Because I'm like, it's too messy. I'm really in a phase of wanting to be nurtured on my insides, like, and actually leave away with something proper. You know what's funny, Katie? It's like, I've had like a lot of ups and downs this entertainment business, but just the other day, I've been having some good things happen lately, and yesterday I was in a space of like, wow. Like, yes, I have a lot of things I still have to worry about. And I guess this is my I'm thankful moment. I have a lot of things to be worried about, but I could like put my shoulders down yesterday. You know what I mean? And for the most part, I was okay. Like I was happy. You know what I mean? My needs were met. I'm healthy to a certain, for the most part. Yeah, I got things going on. Yeah, my ankle might hurt me or my back might need something. But at the end of the day, like we say, there's people that are worse off than us sometimes. And I was like, boy, I'm blessed. Like, because there's time, like, I'm at peace in my spirit. And I think that a lot of times that's a thing. Like, yesterday, I was able to, get a couple of things that I needed to get for myself that's been on my list for like 2 years. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
good
But,
for
but
you.
it, and it also just getting to a point of like being happy with what you're doing in life, you know. Um, it's funny. I'm like, I feel more fulfilled a little bit teaching or like being around the kids and stuff, as much as I love entertainment, right? But entertainment to me can be great too, but it's when I'm really touching somebody or
Yeah.
like when I really see joy coming out of somebody. So I think what it is me getting to a place where I evoke emotion in people, whether it's in the classroom or on the TV set or something, and they're happy and I'm happy. You know, sometimes it's like I be waiting for something bad to happen. Like, how can we both be happy right now? How could we both have been like touched by this moment? But I'm glad that I was able to touch you in a certain way and you were able to touch me in a certain way. And there's no repercussions with it. It's just a good feeling. And sometimes when I feel completely good, it's almost like I want to, like, is it safe for me to be this happy?
Listen, happiness is a choice. It really, really, happiness is a choice. If you want to be happy, you can be happy, but you've got to want that.
Yeah.
And I really have found this out in life. I've had some ups and downs since I've been a senior. You know, nothing. I mean, just experience out here in life doing things. But there was a time that I wanted to just give up and say, look, I'm going to listen, take my time and I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go do that. But then there's always that one person that's in your life that comes to you and say, look, we need your service. Some people may not need it, but we need your service. Okay? We need the things that you're doing for us.
You know, sometimes when you feel like
they give you a ray of hope.
And
once they slap you and give you that ray of hope, you have to keep going.
You know what?
Because you know it's a choice.
Sometimes when you know, there's so many different levels of success. So sometimes when you're in a room of thousands of people, oh, you feel like you made it, right? But then but in all the other times, oh, okay, here I'm still here. Like all the other times, it's only like 5 or 10 people. You know what I mean? That's like consistent. But you know what? You don't realize what you mean to those 5 or 6 people versus entertaining that room of 1,000 who don't even have that connection with you. You know,
I don't have to be in that. I don't have to be in that environment. It could just be that one or maybe 2 people.
Yeah.
Who listen, who make me feel, okay? Who I can feed off on that energy. Okay? I don't have to have anybody else in that room. It could be 1,000, but it's those 2 that I connect with. Okay?
Yeah.
That is the biggest joy in the world. Okay? Knowing that I connected with you. Okay?
Yeah.
And you made me feel a certain kind of way. That is the connection. Those are the things that when they connect, there is just something new that you find in your life. And it just won't let you give up.
Right. So even when we talk about family, Thanksgiving, tradition, you know, then there's also the friend Thanksgiving. You know, because people are creating their own families. They're creating their own bonds with people. You know, I had a couple of friends who invited me to Friends Thanksgiving, you know. So yeah, like life is just lifing. And I just feel like, again, it's the personal connection, it's the memory, it's the people who make you feel significant in this world.
That's true. I mean, some people found out I was gonna be doing this event at this place, and one girl called me. She said, "Hey, I want you to put me on a program." I said, "You want to come out and sing to the seniors?" She said, "I want to come out and entertain them." I said, "I ain't got no money. I didn't ask you for none." Okay. So,
but sometimes people just need an opportunity, though.
Right. She's a recording artist. She already got her opportunity. But All I did was post it on Facebook. She called me on the phone. Do you know how good that made me feel?
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it.
This, hey, that's thanks.
Cause you know what, like
That
it
is
don't.
thanks because she is giving.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what I do. Like people will be like, "Oh, well, how was Empire or how was Snack Crate and all this stuff, right?" And I'm actually at a point where I know it sounds weird, and I thought I was going to get on here and actually have a little toot about it. I'm gonna be honest, because I don't talk about Empire anymore. Really,
Right.
I don't talk about Chicago Med anymore. I don't
You
talk
know
about
what?
Snack Rate. I'm so focused on wanting other things to be a part of and
Keep
creation.
talking.
I'm
Keep
so focused on like creation and like expanding. I don't want to keep thinking about the things of the past. I'm kind of moving forward and wanting to create more art and wanting to entertain people in a different way. So whereas those moments were fun and they're memories and I can always go back and I have stories to tell behind the scenes and stuff, I'm so focused on touching the next person. So sometimes it's funny when they say like artists or people who are public people, they always act brand new. But I'll be honest, every time somebody says, "Oh, I saw you in that," or like I seen that little play you did, it actually is like, you saw me. You know, it
that.
really is like a humbling thing because it's like
It's like thanks.
I
Cause
live everyday normal. You know what I mean? Like I
exactly.
talk to the people who are in my life now, whether some of them might be actors and some of them might be just your regular teacher or your doctor or who, or you know, or the cashier at the restaurant. That's my life. I don't know no different. I just get to do a couple of things that fuel my insides, my creativity, you know, but I've kind of made it a normal part of my life to where it's not a big deal, but to other people it can be. But I feel like a lot of us do some great things. And again, a lot of our stories don't get told. But you know, that's
Now
another
we
thing
gotta
too.
get together. We'll get together and do this again right
Yeah,
before
because we're
Christmas.
gonna keep talking. I'm gonna keep talking. Now you woke me
Okay,
up.
we'll do this again right before Christmas. Uh,
Oh look, she got me on monthly schedule plan,
uh,
y'all. She
say
got me
what?
on a monthly schedule plan, y'all.
But we're gonna get off here. Listen, I'm glad that everybody tuned in, and I hope you listen. I hope you all enjoyed the conversation because Thanksgiving is about more than the history of Thanksgiving.
That's what
Thanksgiving
I was trying to say.
is Thanksgiving is one of those times. Thanksgiving and Christmas, should I say? It's one of those times when families get together, and it's not funeral related.
Well, no, it's holiday because you put it in the title, holiday foods. So holiday season.
Right, but you know,
Yeah.
when I said what we talked about at the beginning of the show, these are the the majority of the time when black families get together. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it ain't no secret. It's cause there's a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
We just
That's
don't
true.
get together like we used to.
And then guess what? Then we have a big meal after the funeral, just like Thanksgiving.
At the repast, but we're so stressed out about what happened. You know, we don't get together and give thanks to just being there with each other. Okay,
Oof, we
we're
need
not
a
at a
little more
celebration.
love.
We're just together. Okay? That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Thanks is giving. It's giving love. It's giving time. It's giving the appreciation
Mm-hmm.
for one another. It's putting down the cell phone or the iPad. It's putting it down and taking that time to give to each other. That's you.
And you know, I almost listen because that was beautiful how you ended it. But I had a friend. This is a younger person, you know, around my age, whatever. But like we went out, and I was on my phone. I
Mhm.
was on my phone. You know, my friend told me, "Put your phone down." and enjoy this moment. And I was so shocked and flattered all at the same time, you know, that I enjoyed the moment.
Okay.
And I started having more of those. Now, don't get me wrong, I still get my pictures in. We're gonna have photo shoot time, okay? But there are some things that we just have to like embrace and share with one another. So hopefully we can get a little bit more camaraderie in the next few upcoming years. I
Yeah.
hope.
And
Let's not give thanks just on the
say,
holiday.
I forgot to say it, but you said it at the end. Make sure you take pictures and make memories, because those memories that you're making, believe me, somewhere down the line, somebody's gonna be talking about them, and it gives it gives the next generation a chance to not hear about who you are, but to actually see who you are. It gives them a chance to see why they look this way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about that, Eve Jean. Okay, listen, we're
That is
out of here. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe out there. All right. See you later,
yeah.
Dion.
Bye.